I've been asked a million times, but now we start the walk. Welcome to Bigfoot 101. This is class number 1. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot of noise out there. Nothing short of opinions on Bigfoot. You have shows that walk around in the night chasing everything that goes boo. They go out and try to hunt it. The sheer idiocy associated with some of these shows is beyond words. I kid you not, beyond words. They do the same exact thing, expecting something different, yet nothing ever changes. I don't blame the people involved. They're getting ratings, God bless them. But for those who want a real depth program, the networks want comfortable, they want mundane. They want a show that won't challenge your thinking or disrupt the audience. The people I work with, that's kind of the way we view most of this mainstream approach. My journey, however, is different than anyone's out there, and therein lies the secret. It began with a straightforward challenge. Prove if this creature, this Bigfoot, is real, or if it's not. I threw out all the modern noise and went back into the deepest historical chronicle. Immediately, I realized something critical. There has been a mass manipulation of our thoughts on this phenomenon. The more I read, the more deeply intrigued I became. I compiled articles dating back to 1680, and they spoke not of an ape, but a terrifying wild man. This creature was described as 7 feet high, covered in hair, and possessing astonishing swiftness. Listen to this account from 1829 concerning the Choctaw Nation. The people believed in the existence of a wild man of the woods who confers supernatural powers. A forceful, undeniable supernatural element has been a part of this story for centuries. The traditional Bigfoot world will try to squash that like a bug on a windshield, but the historical record demands otherwise, and it gets much stranger. I came across stories of farmers discovering the bones of giants. These bones were allegedly picked up by the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. Today, the Smithsonian says they never had any of those bones, not a single one. How can that be? What part of history, what foundational truth are they so desperate to hide from us? This pursuit of forbidden history led me to accounts that bridge the gap between Bigfoot and the truly strange, the paranormal. I want to share a story from my research that shook me. Major E.S. Ingram's 1895 account from Mount Rainier. He described descending into a steam cave and feeling a peculiar sensation, like standing on an insulated stool holding a charged electrical pole. This suggests a localized, naturally occurring electromagnetic field, a hot zone. He encounters a grotesque figure, human-like, with eyeballs that occasionally flash with light and bristled hair on a pointed crown. The creature revived itself by generating an electric glow, by rubbing its feet on the cave floor. This is not a simple primate. This is an entity tied to a power source. Ingram reported receiving impressions from this creature telepathically, not by voice. The Subranian, as he called it, warned him of an ancient race that survived an earth convulsion by retreating to the interior. Then the warning turned dark. He commanded me to follow him. Ingram resisted only by a superhuman effort, breaking the spell and escaping the dark interior. A forceful command, a break in consciousness, a dark, subterranean place. This is not mere folklore. This is an encounter with a powerful, potentially malevolent force. Now, I want you to take this history of strange, hairy, electrically charged entities and consider the data I've collected for years on my other channel. I am talking, of course, about the missing 411 cases. Think about the victims who vanish in the same remote areas, often without a trace, under bizarre circumstances. They are found miles from the point of disappearance, often at high elevation, sometimes stripped of their clothing. The weather turns instantly hostile, crippling search efforts immediately after the event. And there is almost always a river, a lake, or a bog near the last known sighting. A portal of some kind. These are the same locations where these wild man stories have circulated for centuries. What if this creature, or this Subranian race, utilizes something far more sophisticated than just physical prowess? What if these hot zones are actually connected by a naturally occurring dimensional rift? This rift would be an unstable, interdimensional gateway that this entity uses to access and abduct the electrical charges, the impossible disappearances, the unearthly screams. These align perfectly with high strangeness reports. It suggests a unified, clandestine force operating completely outside the known boundaries of physics. This deep understanding led me to my methodical, two-step approach: an investigative base and a world-class forensic expert. I chose the Hoopa Reservation in Northern California, right near the Bluff Creek area. My criteria were strict: local law enforcement, internet access, and decades of credible first-hand accounts. I called the Hoopa Tribal Police, and they immediately agreed. "Dave, come on up. We'll introduce you to some elders." But before I could meet those crucial witnesses, I needed to find a forensic artist who could translate memory into reality. I found the name Harvey Pratt. Harvey was the chief forensic artist for the Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation. His drawings of violent criminals were dead-on ringers. But the true value was his background. Harvey was a Cheyenne Arapaho Native American chief. This instantly granted him immense trust and credibility with the tribal members. It was a beautiful set of coincidences that worked entirely in our favor. Harvey and I worked together like partners. Every single witness we sat down with, Harvey did the sketch. These sketches, which are all in my book Tribal Bigfoot, challenge every false narrative about this creature. The people who are willing to look outside the bounds of traditional science have been awakened. We took the testimony of those who have seen the Sasquatch in this modern era and documented it with police investigation precision. This is a terrifying, dangerous reality that has been covered up for centuries. These are the same remote forests where the missing 411 data shows these inexplicable abductions are occurring. Are they being taken through the same dimensional rift that the Subranians warned Ingram about over a century ago? This is your first class on Bigfoot 101. I urge you to get my book, Tribal Bigfoot, right now. It contains the full historical record, the documented evidence, and the sketches that will serve as your defense against the skeptics. Next time, we will walk into the Hoopa Reservation and hear the words of the elders themselves.